Senate to order. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Senator Barnett, Senator Barrett, Senator Berry, Senator Blackman, Senator Blackwell, Senator Blunt, Senator Boyd, Senator Brumfield, Senator Bryan, Senator Butler, Senator Carter, Senator Chazanall, Senator Chisholm, Senator DeBar, Senator Delano, Senator Dupree, Senator England, Senator Fillingham, Senator Frazier, Senator Gillespie Isom, Senator Harkins, Senator Harkness, Senator Hickman,
Here.
Senator Hill, Senator Hobson, Senator Jackson, Senator Johnson, Senator Kirby, Senator Ladner, Senator McCon, Senator McClendon, Senator McMahon, Senator Michelle, Senator Mumford, Senator Norwood, Senator Parks, Senator Pope, Senator Rhodes, Senator Seymour, Senator Simmons of the 12th, Senator Simmons of the 13th, Senator Sparks, Senator Suber, Senator Tate, Senator Taylor, Senator Thomas, Senator Thompson, Senator Turner Ford, Senator Whaley, Senator Wiggins, Senator Williams, Senator Younger. Mr. President, a quorum is present.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Will the senators and guests in the gallery please rise for the invocation to be given by the Reverend Austin Warren. Reverend Warren is the Religious and Spiritual Life Assistant Director at Alcorn State University. The invocation will be followed by the Pledge of Allegiance by Senator Hickman. Reverend Warren.
Let us pray. O God of wisdom and mercy, source of life and sustainer of every community, we pause in this chamber to acknowledge that all authority and responsibility ultimately rest under your watchful care. We give thanks for the opportunity to gather in this space where decisions are made that shape the lives of countless families across this great state of Mississippi. We ask first for humility. Grant that those who serve here may remember that leadership is not merely the exercise of power, but the sacred stewardship of the public trust. May every vote, every conversation, every policy consideration be guided by a deep commitment to the common good rather than narrow interests. God of justice, we remember that your vision for humanity is one where every person is treated with dignity, fairness, and compassion. Your prophets remind us that true righteousness is found when justice rolls down like waters and righteousness like an ever-flowing stream. Inspire in this chamber the courage to pursue policies that uplift the vulnerable, protect the marginalized, and uplift and strengthen the fabric of our shared life together. Grant wisdom to these senators as they deliberate. In moments of disagreement, cultivate patience and mutual respect. When the path forward seems unclear, grant discernment to seek what is right rather than what is convenient. And when difficult decisions must be made, give them the moral courage to choose fairness, equity, and truth. God, we also uplift the people of Mississippi, those in our cities and rural communities, those working hard to provide for their families, those seeking opportunity, and those longing to be seen and to be heard. May the voices and experiences of all people be remembered in the work done within these halls. God of peace, let this chamber be a place where differences do not lead to division, but instead become opportunities for deeper understanding. Help us to recognize that our shared humanity is greater than our disagreements, and that the well-being of our neighbors is bound together with our own. May the work done here today contribute to a future where every child has access to opportunity, every family can live with security and hope, and every community can flourish in justice and peace. Guide these leaders, strengthen their resolve to do what is right, and remind us all that the measure of a society is how faithfully it cares for the least among us. And may the spirit of wisdom, justice, and compassion rest upon this chamber today and always. In your holy name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Please join me in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Stand right here and take Senator Butler. You can get one of us. Watch this. Thank you. Thank you, Senator Hickman. Thank you, Reverend Warren, and give our regards to Alcorn State University, and also thank you, Senator Hickman. Now the reading of the journal. Senator Blackwell, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move we dispense with the reading of the journal.
Senator moves to dispense with the reading of the journal. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Next, message and petitions, Mr. Clerk.
Mr. President, there are none.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Committee report, Senator Blackwell, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move we dispense with the reading of the committee reports.
Senator moves to dispense with the reading of the committee reports. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Next, to the reading of the titles of the bills and resolutions. I recognize Senator Blackwell.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move we dispense with the reading of the titles of the bills and resolutions.
Senator moves to dispense with the reading of the titles of bills and resolutions. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Thank you. Okay, we'll start with introduction of guests. Senate introduction of guests, please, sir. Senator Wiggins, you're recognized for introduction, sir.
Thank you, Mr. President. It's my pleasure to introduce these folks. They gave us the great breakfast this morning. We have with us folks from CSG, Council of State Governments. With us, we have Director Lindsey Gray. We have Jill Clark, Jaslyn Jones, and Aaron Parton. So thank y'all for being here. Please give them a round of applause. And Mr. President, for those that don't know, CSG does a lot for us. The SLC this year is July 11th to 15th in Lexington, Kentucky. So get your reservations in, and they can help you in any way you need. So thank y'all for being here.
Thank you, Senator, and welcome. Senator Jackson, you're recognized for introduction, sir.
Thank you, Mr. President. Joining us today, we have my good friend, Mr. Bubba O'Keefe. He's the Executive Director of Visit Clarksdale Tourism. If he can stand, I'd like to just give him a warm Senate welcome.
Thank you, Senator Simmons. D.
Introduction, Mr. President.
Please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. President. Senators in the West Gallery, a good friend of mine, Nettie Seard, who is the president of the National Paralytic Council in Greenfield. I asked the Senate to make her feel welcome. On behalf of me and Senator Sarita Simmons.
Thank you, Senator McMahon. You're recognized for introduction, sir.
I rise for an introduction.
Please proceed.
In the West Gallery, I would ask Social Studies class from Tupelo High School to stand. Ms. Temple Hester. These are the guests today of Senator Bryan and myself. These are some very special students. As you know, Tupelo High School has about 200 social studies students. They had to write an essay on why they felt like these students had to write an essay on why they thought they should be able to come to the state Senate today and have a private dinner with Senator Bryan and myself. These are the award recipients. Let's give them a big Senate welcome.
Future leaders from Tupelo, welcome. We're glad you're here. Thank you very much. Senator Butler, you recognized?
Thank you, Mr. President. At this time, I would like to present the Doctor of the Day. And we have with us Dr. Caleb Zivro from Franklin County. And he's a He's practicing at the Franklin County Memorial Hospital, and I would like the Senate to welcome him here with us today.
Welcome, Doc. Good to have you here. Thank you. Senator Norwood for an introduction. Would you check his, please?
Introduction, Mr. President.
Please proceed.
Mr. President, this morning we have visiting with us a good friend and a great pastor here in our city, Reverend Dr. C.J. Rose. If he was staying in the South Gallery, make you feel welcome.
Thank you, Senator. Pray for us. We appreciate you, Reverend. Senator Younger,
Introduction.
please proceed.
In the South Gallery, we have Mrs. Winnie Berry, Mrs. Evan Berry, and Noah Berry. They are here in the Senate today to honor their father and their husband, who was killed in the line of, I think he died in the line of duty on the highway patrol. And just please give them a warm welcome.
We're here safe because of people like your husband. Thank you. Senator Thomas,
Mr. President, I have an introduction.
please proceed.
In our North Gallery, we have a longtime friend of mine, Mr. Joe Smith. If you stand, Mr. Smith, he's also an Alpha. And let's give Mr. Smith a warm Senate welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. Senator Berry,
For three introductions, Mr. President.
please proceed.
In the North Gallery, we have with us leaders and members of the Mississippi Forestry Association as well as the Mississippi Forestry Commission. As you may know, the Mississippi Forestry Commission is celebrating 100 years of protecting our forest here in Mississippi. They were gracious enough to give each of us a persimmon tree that is on your desk, and we certainly thank them for that. Also would like to welcome in the West Gallery members from Jefferson Davis, my district Forestry Association, Ricky Barrett and Jimmy McPhail. And also in the West Gallery, we have parents from Simpson Academy to watch their children here in just a minute. Thank you. Please help.
Parks,
Thank you, Mr. President. I also needed an introduction this morning. In the gallery, we have Blake Hankins, David Hankins, and Justin Tapp with us from the Hankins Sawmill in Tippah County. If you would, let's make them welcome today.
Senator Taylor,
For an announcement,
please proceed.
Senate right over here in Alicia's office will let y'all know that we have got some of the finest milk around from Beeson Family Milk in Philadelphia, so make sure you stop by and get you some and enjoy.
Thank you. Thank you for sending it. Hobson, Senator Hobson.
Thank you, Mr. President. Also in the North Gallery, sitting to Joe Smith, who is a friend of mine as well, Senator Thomas introduced, is Brady Tonk. Brady's from Vicksburg. We asked Brady to stand. The Senate make him welcome this morning.
Senator Harkins,
Introduction, Mr. President.
please proceed.
We have in the South Gallery, if you stand when I call your name, this is from the Jones County Farm Bureau members in Jones County. Kirby Malden, Joey Bradshaw, Melinda Bradshaw, Larry Jeffcoat, Stan Norwood, Sean McDonald, Rex Boltholtz, and Demetria Fagan. Give them a great welcome from the Senate.
Okay, one moment, please. Okay. We'll now go to the floor presentations. Senator Hickman, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, this time I would ask for floor privileges for the Mississippi Alpha Network District Director and Executive Team.
Seeing no objection, they are granted. Sergeant at Arms, please show them the Senate floor.
Thank you, Mr. President. At this time, I would ask for Senate Resolution 52 be called up and the title be read.
Mr. Clerk, please read the title.
Senate Resolution Number 52, a resolution recognizing Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity, Inc. and Mississippi Alpha Network on the occasion of its 55th anniversary as the first intercollegiate fraternity for African American men. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Senate of the State of Mississippi that we do hereby recognize Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity and Mississippi Alpha Network on the occasion of its 55th anniversary as the first intercollegiate fraternity for African American men and extend our best wishes on this auspicious occasion. Be it further resolved that this resolution be transmitted to the leadership of Mississippi Alpha Network for distribution to the chapters of Alpha Phi Alpha and made available to the Capitol Press Corps.
Thank you, Mr. President. Ladies and gentlemen of the Senate, I am excited, as I know you are excited and privileged to have before you members of the oldest and the coldest African-American fraternity that this country knows. I want to say that the Mississippi Alpha Network has had its roots in Mississippi since 1927. While we are a fraternity, we are deeply rooted in serving the communities that we live in. We are deeply rooted to serving underserved and underprivileged communities. And for 55 years, the Mississippi Alpha Network, as an organized entity, has done just that. We have provided service throughout the state of Mississippi, and we continue to do that and will continue to do that throughout the state of Mississippi. So we're here today commending this great organization, which I am honored and privileged to be a part of, for the great service that they are doing and continue to do for this state. At this time, Mr. President, I would ask that you would allow our district director, Brother Al J. Thompson, the privilege to address the Mississippi State Senate.
Dr. Thompson, you're recognized to address the Senate.
Good morning to all.
Good morning.
Thank you, Brother Hickman. We are honored to have this occasion this morning. We are honored to be here in your midst this morning. But we are honored for the 55 years, and we're thankful for the recognition. But I'd like to say in charge of brothers that the work continues for Alpha. As Brother Hickman mentioned, being in underserved communities and making sure that equity moves forward and social justice moves forward, we are at the forefront of that, as well as many people of the Divine Nine. So today we celebrate 55 years, but we also say that we have work to do, and the work continues in the way of shaping the lives of the next generation, as well as improving communities throughout Mississippi. So while we celebrate this auspicious occasion, we do celebrate the fact that the work continues. Thank you all for the recognition, and thank you to the men of the Mississippi Alpha Network. Thank you for your continued commitment, your continued service to the Mississippi Alpha Network, and we will move forward, and thank you with pride and with gratitude. We say thank you. Bless you.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, gentlemen. We got one quick picture, Doctor, if you give us just a second. Thank you very much, Doctor. Thank you, Senator Hickman. Senator Berry, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. I request floor privileges for the Simpson County Academy softball team and their coaches.
Seeing no objections, granted. Sergeant at Arms, please show them Senate floor.
Mr. President, I ask that Senate Resolution number 32 be read, please.
Mr. Clerk, please read the title.
Senate Resolution number 32, a resolution commending and congratulating the Simpson Academy Lady Cougars softball team and Coach Matt Harrison for winning the MAIS 4A Division I State Softball Championship. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Senate of the State of Mississippi that we do hereby commend and congratulate the Simpson Academy Ladies Cougars softball team and Coach Matt Harrison for winning the MAIS 4A Division I State Softball Championship and extend our best wishes to the team, coaches, parents, and sponsors for future success. Be it further resolved that this resolution be presented to Coach Matt Harrison for the team, forwarded to Simpson Academy Headmaster John Shouse and the Simpson Academy Board of Trustees, and made available to the Capitol Press Corps.
Thank you. And while Simpson Academy is no stranger to winning state titles, this team accomplished something very remarkable in that they broke the school record for wins, and they did that only having 4 seniors on this team. And so the future is very bright for this team, and we're proud of them. Mr. President, I ask that Coach Matt Harrison briefly be allowed to address the Senate.
Coach Harrison, you're recognized to address the Senate.
First and foremost, I just want to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ for this opportunity. Also want to thank Mr. Andy Berry for the opportunity to come and recognize this amazing softball team. They were a team that impressed all around, and I'm very, very proud of them, led by our 4 seniors down here on the end. But also want to thank you all so much as well for not only recognizing us here today, but also for what you do for the state of Mississippi. Thank you all so very much, and God bless.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Congratulations, ladies. Appreciate you. Congratulations. That's hard to do. All right. We're going to move to the calendar. Start with item 1. Senator Wiggins, for what purpose?
Introduction out of order, please.
Please proceed.
Thank you. Senate, we have with us today members of the Brain Injury Association of Mississippi. If they're here, we have Terrell Jones, Desmond Thomas, Mark Henderson, Johnny McGinn, Will Parker, Larry Beard, Wes Ward, J.J. Bailey, and Arjun Trehan. If you're here, we appreciate you being here. Thank you. And they're here for awareness of brain injury.
Thank you. Appreciate you coming to your capital. Okay, and it was good to see you earlier today. All right, let's start with appropriations. Senator Hobson. Senate, we're on the calendar, item 1.
Thank you, Mr. President. Go to item 1 and have the title read,
Mr.
please.
Clerk, please read the title.
House Bill 1648, budget process, bring forward sections relating to and provide for transfer of funds.
Make the usual motion.
Senator makes the usual motion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Please proceed, Senator Hobson.
Move adoption of the strike all and ask to be recognized.
You're recognized to explain the strike all, sir.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is our transfer bill, and this is just another version of what we've already passed this session, and it puts forth all the code sections that we'll utilize to craft the budget this year. I'll yield for questions if there are any.
Seeing no questions, Senator, we're ready for your motion.
Adoption of the strike all.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Thank you, Senator.
And now I move passage by use of the morning roll call.
Use of morning roll call has been requested. Anyone object? Seeing none, it is passed. Thank you, Senator Hobson. We're on item 2, sir. All the rest? Item 2. Yeah, we adopted it. We did adopt it, Clerk. So, yes, Secretary, we did adopt it. All right. Items 2 through 9 retain their place on the calendar. Senator Harkins.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to skip items 10 and 11, have them retain their place on the calendar, and go to item 12, House Bill 1230, and have the title read.
Mr. Clerk, please read the title.
House Bill 1230, distinctive motor vehicle license tag, authorized issuance to supporters of the Corinth School District.
Make the usual motion.
Senator makes the usual motion. All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Thank you.
My motion is to be recognized to explain the strike all amendment.
You're recognized to explain the strike all, Senator.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is another omnibus distinctive motor tag bill just to make sure we have a vehicle alive for your tag request. And we're getting close to the end here, so if you have not already given your tag request to Ian, make sure you get your tag request to him so he has the information, and we will compile a list to double check with everybody to make sure if you have one that's on the list that will be in the final version of the bill. That is, it's got a reverse repealer in it, and that is the explanation of the strike all. If there are no questions, I move adoption of the strike all.
Motion is to adopt the strike all. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Please proceed, Senator.
If there are no further questions, I move final passage on the morning roll call.
Final passage on the morning roll call is requested. Anyone object? Voting no. Present. Thank you, Senator Harkins. We're on item 13, sir.
I'd like to go to item 13, House Bill 1330, and have the title read.
Mr. Clerk, please read the title.
House Bill 1330, Local Option Alcoholic Beverage Control Law, revised definition of qualified resort area.
Make the usual motion.
Usual motion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Please proceed.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is similar to
We got a strike all, I think, Senator.
Yes, it's. I'm be recognized to explain the strike all.
You are recognized to explain the strike all, Senator.
Thank you, Mr. President. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the same bill. We passed a version of a resort status bill. This is the House version. We did add a reverse repealer to keep it alive, and I know that there are a few members that have some resort status requests that are out there, so we will make sure we have a final version to put everybody who had a bill for a resort request in the final version. But this just adds a reverse repealer, and that is the explanation of the strike all. If there are no questions, I move adoption of the strike all.
Move adoption of the strike all. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. The ayes have it. Please proceed.
No further questions. I move final passage on the morning roll call.
Use of morning roll call has been requested. Anyone object? We should be recorded voting no. Hartness, no. Chisholm, no. Frazier, no. Taylor, no. Seymour, no. Tate, no. Butler, no.
Got one more.
Anyone else? Norwood, no. Anyone else? Anyone else? Seeing none, the bill passes by use of morning roll call. Noes are noted. Senator McCon.
Introduction.
Please proceed.
As the Senate is here today, we've got a few additional people came in today. One of those people is Kern Hoff, who you see in the Capitol, but with him today, he has his daughter, Catherine Hoff, and she tells me she's just here to see good government. So let's give her some good government. Welcome today.
Senator Hawkins.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to skip item 14 through 17, have it retain its place on the calendar, and go to item 18.
Item 18. Mr. Clerk, please read the title.
House Bill 750, strengthen the Mississippi Academic Research through Business Act, extend repealer on.
Make the usual motion.
Senator makes the usual motion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the same bill we passed earlier. This is the House version. This is a SMART Act. This has to deal with companies that work with our research institutions. There's a $1.5 million tax credit that's available, and only each entity is only eligible up to $150,000, but they partner with the research institution and try to research products, bring them to market. This is what our institutions of higher learning have used, and it's been pretty successful. This just extends the repealer to 2029, I believe. Yeah, 2029, and that is the explanation of the bill. Be happy to yield for any questions.
Questions on the bill? Senator Blunt? Not a question. We're good. Anyone else? No questions, sir.
If there are no questions, I move final passage on the morning roll call.
Use of morning roll call has been requested. Anyone object to the procedure? Court is voting no. Present. Seeing none. Senator Blunt?
For an introduction, please, Mr. President.
Please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. President. Ladies and gentlemen of the Senate, I see in the West Gallery a group of bright students from First Presbyterian Day School. They're standing up. They're here with their teacher, Miss Waters, at the Capitol. I'm very excited to see them here. Please make the students from First Presbyterian Day School welcome.
Okay, welcome here. Any other? Senator Harkins?
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to skip item 19 through 21 and have them retain their place on the calendar and go to item 22.
Item 22, Mr. Clerk, please read the title.
House Bill 1761, alcoholic beverages, extend repeal as relating to festival wine permits.
Make the usual motion.
All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
My motion is to adopt the strike all and recognize Senator McMahon to explain the
Senator McMahon,
strike
you're
all.
recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. What we have before you is a House bill, is a companion bill to the native winery bill that we already passed earlier this year. And so we just did a strike all and put the Senate bill 2915 in the House bill. And that's what it does. The difference between the House bill and the Senate bill is the House extended the repealer. The Senate's position was to remove the repealers and to allow for some additional tasting rooms. And so you will see this bill again after conference. If there are any questions?
One more, just 1 second. Seeing no questions, we're ready on motion, sir?
Did we adopt the strike all?
No, sir.
My motion is we adopt the strike
All
all.
in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Please proceed, Senator.
My motion is that we move for passage based on the morning roll
Use of
call.
morning roll call has been requested. Anyone object to the procedure? Court is voting no. Chisholm, no. Harkness, no. Norwood, no. Butler, no. Frazier, no. Seymour, no. Tate, no. Anyone else? Anyone else? Dupree, no. Anyone else? Anyone else? Seeing none, passed by use of the morning roll call. Senator Parks, you recognize?
I yield.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move to suspend the rules for immediate consideration for Senate Bill 3230.
All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Please proceed, Senator Parks.
I call up Senate Bill 3230 and ask the title be
Mr.
read.
Clerk, please read the title.
Senate Bill 3230, an act to authorize the Board of Trustees of Greenwood LaFleur Hospital, a public community hospital, to petition for relief from debt and financial obligations of the hospital under Chapter 9 of Title 11 United States Code and for related purposes.
Make the usual motion.
Senator makes the usual motion. All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Senator Parks.
Just as the title was read, this is merely authorizing the Board of the Trustees of the Greenwood LaFleur Hospital, which is a public hospital, to petition for relief for their debt and obligations. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Questions on the bill? Seeing none, Senator, we're ready for your motion.
Suggest passage of the morning roll call.
So morning roll call has been requested. Anyone object to the procedure? According voting no. Present. Present. Tate. Anyone else? Anyone else? Bill passes by use of morning roll call. Thank you, Senator Parks.
I would ask for immediate release.
Seeing no objection, immediate release is granted. Thank you, Senator. We'll move, and so very necessary. They're really struggling. Senator Parks, thank you for your work on that, and Senator Chazanel. Senator Kirby. Pass and retain. Motions to reconsider. Senator, you want to take over? Motion to reconsider. We're on item 27, Senate.
Item 27, pass and retain. Go to item 28, currents, pass and retain. Item 29, Senator Bryan will pass and retain. 29, 30, 31, pass and retain those items. Go to item 32. Pass and retain that item. Go to item 33, Senator Fillingham.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to skip items 32 through 35 and ask that they retain their place on the calendar and go to item number 36.
We'll pass and retain 32, 3, 4, 5, and go to item 36.
Then I would move that we call it up and have the title read.
Please read the title.
House Bill 1577, child abuse, clarify willful false claims of.
I make the usual motion.
Senator makes the usual motion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. The ayes have it. Senator Fillingham.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a strike all amendment that I would like to explain, and then there's an additional amendment after that one. But if I could be recognized to explain the strike all.
You're recognized to explain the strike all.
Thank you, Mr. President. So the strike all amendment to House Bill 1577 basically seeks to address the issue where people are making claims of child abuse that turn out to be false. And I know in the committee we had a robust discussion about that having happened in a lot of instances, both in political campaigns where members of the legislature have actually had false anonymous reports of child abuse made against them. In some cases where they don't even have children at home anymore, Senator Hill, and some former legislators as well. And because it's an anonymous type situation, you don't want to chill people making claims that are legitimate. Over the past couple of years, we've tried to thread the needle and figure out a way in which we can make it to where false claims of child abuse are not prevalent and that there's some sort of penalty. So Representative Felsher has authored House Bill 1577, and so we have a strike all based on the work we did in our Judiciary B Committee. And so what it does in the strike all is it provides that a report shall not be considered filed in good faith under the section if it is unsupported by credible evidence, and the person who filed the report intentionally submitted the report knowing it was false. And that's a high burden. You have to show that the person actually knew that it wasn't true when he or she made the report. So it's a high standard, but that's the language that we have in the strike all. Such report would then be considered a willful false report of child abuse, and then we create the penalty for that, if you can prove it, that is a misdemeanor crime that may be prosecuted by either the State Attorney General's office, the county attorney, or the district attorney in the county in which the child resides. It also amends 973547 to conform, and the strike all clarifies some language on the presentation of the affirmative defense, removes prosecution authority from CPS, which was in the House bill, because they don't really have prosecutorial authority, they have investigative authority. In the committee, there was some discussion about ensuring that the bill covers all reports made to CPS and not just the mandatory reports. So in the strike all that you have before you, it starts on lines 24 and goes through lines 44. And the penalty, if you can prove that there was this false report made knowing it to be false, then the penalty would be punishment by a fine not to exceed $5,000 or by a misdemeanor penalty of jail time not to exceed a year or both. And additionally, the person may be ordered to pay restitution to the law enforcement agency and or the Department of Child Protection Services for any reasonable cost directly related to the investigation of said false report. Because obviously, the downside of having this done is if the agency is out there making investigations into reports that turn out to be false, then they're being diverted from actual cases that are real child abuse and child neglect cases that they need to be spending their time on instead. So that is the strike all. I'll be happy to answer any questions related to the strike all. And then there's an additional amendment that we have that would apply it to all reports, not just to mandatory reporters.
Okay.
That's the second amendment. So I'm happy to take any questions on the strike all.
Certainly, we do have some questions. After the question, we'll adopt the strike all, then we'll offer the amendments before the strike all.
Okay.
Adopt the strike all, okay. Senator Seymour, what purpose?
Question, Mr. President.
Do you yield?
Sure.
With the penalty, would this be classified as a felony?
No, sir. It would be a misdemeanor.
Thank you.
Up to a year. So it's a year over is the felony, but under and up to a year is a misdemeanor.
Okay. Senator Hobson, what purpose?
Question.
You yield?
Certainly.
Senator Hobson.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Senator Fillingame, what is the burden in this proposed strike all? Who's got the burden to show that there was a false report?
So the way the mechanics of it would work, as I appreciate it, is if let's say a report is made against me, the investigators from CPS are going to come visit me, interview my children, and so I'm going to know that a report has been made because they don't just randomly pick people and go visit them in their homes. They investigate based on reports of child abuse and neglect. So that investigation is going to have taken place. They're going to come visit me in my home, interview my children in school, do all the things. So at that moment, I'm going to know someone has made a report. Now, it's an anonymous report in most cases, not always. If it's a mandatory reporter, like a school teacher or a professional counselor or someone like that, a lot of times CPS tells me that they make reports with their names attached to them. So they're not always anonymous, but a lot of times they are. And so regardless, whether it's anonymous or not anonymous, I'm going to know that I've been reported because I'm going to have gone through the investigation. At that point, I then contact a couple of different people I can contact. I can contact my county attorney, I can contact my district attorney, or I can contact the state's attorney general's office and say, hey, I have been investigated by CPS. I believe because I'm in the middle of a child custody fight that I might have a pretty good idea as to who is behind this report, or because I'm in the middle of a political campaign, I may have suspicions as to why that report was made. And I can contact them and say, hey, I want this investigated because you've done your investigation, you found no evidence of child abuse or neglect. I believe the motivation of this report was known to be false and was made by someone who sought to do me harm in whatever context that is taking place. The CPS investigators, of course, can then, knowing who made the report, whether it was anonymous or not, they can get to who the reporter was, and they can then go to them, and based on the wording here, they can say, hey, what evidence did you use or what knowledge did you use to make this report? And of course, in the strike all, as in the original bill, if you have credible evidence that you believed to be true and you made that report, even if it turns out to be false, that's a defense and you're not in any trouble. I mean, you believed it to be true based on whatever you tell them that you believed it to be true based upon, and you're fine. Obviously people jump to the wrong conclusions sometimes based on bad information or misinterpreted information. But if they find out that there's not a scintilla of evidence that the person can produce other than just a hunch, like, oh, I figured he was a bad guy and he was abusing his poor kids or something, then there's no evidence, there's no credible evidence there, and they can be prosecuted at that point.
Well, and thank you for that explanation. One thing you pointed out was that when they start the investigation, they're going to go to CPS, let's say, and say, who reported this person?
Right.
Will that person be shielded from the parent who is charged with abuse or claimed to be abused? Will that still be shielded until
Yes.
such time as there's a determination there was no credible evidence?
If it was an anonymous report, sure, it will be investigated by the authorities first, by CPS. And if CPS finds that there was merit or credible evidence from whence the report was generated, then that information is kept anonymous, and I'm then told we did our investigation and we found that there was credible evidence that they based their investigation, filing upon. Now we've vetted you and found it not to be true, not to be accurate, it was a misinterpretation or whatever, but in that instance, it will still be shielded.
Yeah, thank you. And I know we've had this type of bill before us
Sure.
for many years, and the balance, if you would agree with me, the balance is trying to make sure that people don't feel like they can't make claims
100%.
without some kind of reprisal or some retribution for reporting somebody that's abusing their children. We don't want to limit folks' ability to report that, but at the same time, we don't want false reports either. And you would agree with that, correct?
100%, and that's why it's taken, honestly, I know we've been working on this for over the term, maybe 2 terms now, because you do have that delicate balance. You want to certainly let everyone know if they feel like there's child abuse going on that they can make a claim, they can make a report, and those reports are investigated. But conversely, on the other side, if, as we all know, people in the legal profession who've done domestic work know, it happens all too frequently where you're in the middle of a divorce case or a custody case, and then magically, CPS shows up at the house of one parent or the other, and there's all these reports of horrible abuse and sexual abuse and physical abuse and all the like, and that all gets dragged through the mud, and a lot of times it's just one side or the other trying to seek leverage or advantage over the other party. And then we have examples of people sitting right here in this chamber and who have formerly sat over there in that seat. Senator Parker, formerly from DeSoto County, had this happen to him and his family in the midst of a campaign. So it's sad that people would resort to these types of things to try to gain advantage, but they do sometimes.
Yeah, no, I understand what you're trying to do, and I want to make sure that we find that fine line between not disincentivizing. We don't want to disincentivize reporters, but we also want to protect those that are falsely accused. And I just want to make sure our language is right. Senator, on line 62, there's some language that's deleted there before credible evidence. Do you know what language was taken out there?
I can find out for you real quick. I don't have the strike-through version, but I'll get that for you. The word any is what was struck.
Is there a reason that was deleted? I'm trying to understand why that would have been deleted there.
I think just it makes it sound, I think, a little bit better, supported by credible evidence. You want to give the reporter the benefit of the doubt to, if there's credible evidence, whether it's a lot or a little bit, you want to give them the authority to do that.
Yeah. And finally, my question on credible evidence, and this is why I'm concerned about the proof issue, is if I happen to be walking by or walking down the street and I saw a parent or an adult abusing a child, but I was the only one that saw it, it's going to be my word versus their word that it didn't happen. And are we going to be in court I guess we would have to be in court at some point determining if the judge or the jury believes that my word that they saw the abuse take place is sufficient. Obviously, if you had a good criminal investigator and they said, well, you weren't even there that day, then you could tear down their argument pretty quickly. But the burden, that's why I want to get to the burden. Is the burden on the person being accused to show that they didn't have any credible evidence, or is it my burden? If I'm the reporter, is it my burden to show that I did
I think it's on the person that's claiming that they were falsely reported upon. I mean, if there's any credible evidence whatsoever that the reporter has that they can share with the investigators at CPS. I was in the car line on such and such date, and this car was in front of me, and I saw the parent just absolutely, beating this child in the back seat. That's evidence, and as long as you're to be believed. Now, if, on the other hand, it just so happens that you are the soon-to-be ex-spouse, and you're the one reporting, and you're in the middle of a very nasty divorce case, or you happen to be my opponent that's running against me in the local district attorney's race, then it may call into question your motivations for why you called that in, and you have no evidence other than your word against me, and you were just hoping to gain some political advantage or legal advantage one way or the other. But if you're just a good faith reporter and you say, I witnessed on such and such date, such and such time, this parent beating their child mercilessly, then I think that's credible evidence. You're going to be fine.
Yeah. Well, thank you. The burden's the main issue. Who's the burden on? And
exactly.
If you would just make sure we're clear on that. Thank you, Senator. I appreciate your answering my questions.
Absolutely. Thanks for the questions.
Senator Turner Ford, what purpose?
Question.
Do you yield, Senator
I do.
Turner Ford? Senator Turner Ford, you recognize.
Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you, Mr. Chairman. So we currently have a code section that prohibits the false reporting of crimes, and child abuse is listed in that code section, correct?
It does. It has, I think, no penalties. I mean, it doesn't really prohibit. It says you shall not do it, but it doesn't, in my opinion, really provide any teeth.
So it does say that a violation of the section shall be punishable by imprisonment in county jail not to exceed 1 year, or a fine not to exceed $5,000, or both.
Yes.
So I guess my question is, and so I understand that we're adding this language about the report and establishing what a defense could be.
Right.
Is there a reason that the current code section does not work?
Yes, it's simply not effective. It's not working based on all the reports that we've heard, not just this year, but over the last 2 terms. I know that I've been dealing with this particular committee. We have bills filed each and every year based on people that have been falsely reported upon, and when they complain about the fact that there was a false report made, nothing is ever done. There's just no prosecution. There's nothing that happens. So it's almost like you get a free, like the dog bite. You get a free bite at the dog, and nothing really happens to you.
And so is there any concern that with those mandatory reporters, that they will not get caught up in this new language that we propose to insert into the legislation?
I don't have any, because we still leave all the language on lines 10 through 23 that provides that the report in good faith shall be immune from the liability, civil or criminal, that might otherwise be incurred or imposed. So that language is left intact.
And I guess my question was, I did look at the definition of child abuse, which also includes mental injury, which is not something that someone would see readily. And so my question pertaining to that issue is, are we putting people in a position where they really cannot defend themselves, and so that they may not have credible evidence as has been outlined here in the proposed language? And that's my concern. So it's not really a question.
Okay.
But if you can speak to it, I would like you to.
If I understand your question correctly, and I may not, but if I'm understanding your question, I think it goes along the lines, are we chilling reporting where things can't really be proven? And I guess the flip side of that question is, should somebody be making a report that they don't have any reason to believe is true? I think that's the same side, two different sides of the same coin. Like, if you're just going on a hunch that this child is acting strangely, and so I think that child is being mentally abused at home, based on what?
So I'm thinking specifically in the context of a small child who has, and I've never heard of anything like this, but I could imagine a child could go to a daycare center and say something that would be alarming to the teacher, and the teacher, according to the statute, is a mandatory reporter.
Right.
But what has been reported is not necessarily something that the reporter could prove. They may not have credible evidence, but they may perceive, well, this is something I need to say, it needs to be reported. So does this just make it a more convoluted process by adding the language?
I don't think so, and I understand your question in that instance. She has credible evidence. Like, the child came to her at the daycare and said, Mommy or Daddy did X, Y, Z to me and hurt me. In that case, they have that evidence, and they share that with the investigator, and that's credible evidence. Those things happen.
Not think so.
I'm sorry?
The parent may not think so.
Well, in that case, the defense is, I had credible evidence. The child approached me, and I'm under an obligation to report. So they are covered. The instance is, if there is no evidence and the child didn't say anything to me, I just decided that child looks like she or he is acting strangely, and so I'm going to call a report in and have this family investigated based on no evidence whatsoever than just a hunch or an observation that I may have made with no evidence.
Okay, thank you, Senator.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Senator Dupree, what purpose?
Question, Mr. President.
You yield, Senator
Certainly,
Dupree.
yes.
Senator Dupree, you recognize.
Senator, this has the opportunity to ruin lives or straighten lives.
Yes.
It can save lives or it can ruin lives. So
yes,
we can get it right or we can get it wrong.
Right.
And so I want to make sure that we get it right. So if I see, if I believe that there's sexual abuse, psychological abuse, physical abuse, then I should report it to CPS or to the authorities?
Yes.
The CPS?
CPS.
Okay.
And in fact, if you're in certain roles, you're required.
I understand.
To
Yeah, that's
report.
mandatory.
A mandatory versus just a man on the street.
Right, yeah, if I was just a man on the street, it's not a mandatory, but
Right.
if I have an agency.
Right.
So I reported to CPS. CPS has investigatory powers, therefore they have people who can investigate, who know how to investigate. They're certified investigators. I don't know what I'm trying
Right.
to
They're
okay.
trained
They're
in
trained
in all
investigators.
levels, depending on the age of the child or whatever.
Age being
Even like infants, that can't communicate, they can look for spiral fractures and things of that nature, even if the child is non-communicative.
okay. And so this has to do with those children who are under the guidance of whatever of CPS or any child like my neighbor, and I see abuse over there. I can.
It's anybody.
It's any child.
Yes, sir.
Okay. If we find that they are wrong, and I didn't do what they say I did, then my recourse is what?
So are you the reporter, or are you the one being investigated?
Let's say that I am the person who has been reported on.
Okay.
Saying that I committed the abuse.
Yes.
And I didn't, and I'm accused of doing it. Then I'm charged by the authorities.
Well, you have been visited by the CPS investigators at your home. Your children most likely have been pulled out of school if school's in session. They have been interviewed by CPS investigators as well. And perhaps others in the neighborhood have been contacted by CPS and investigated about whatever your actions were. And so now you know that someone has reported you. Now you don't know who has made that report.
I understand.
But you know that you have now been investigated, and so therefore a report of abuse has been made against you. At that point, CPS is going to do their investigation, and they're either going to find evidence that you are in fact are abusing and neglecting the child, at which point they're going to prosecute you, and there you go. But if they find, we don't find any evidence that Senator Dupree has abused his child or grandchild, at that point you have the option to go back to CPS and say, I have been cleared. I would like to pursue this investigation in reverse now, because
now you get to the point that I was.
Yes.
So if you have been accused falsely,
right,
then there is some recourse for those who have been accused.
That's what the whole point of this bill is.
Okay.
Yes.
And so, but if you're found guilty, then it's a misdemeanor and not a felony.
No, we were talking about the misdemeanor being of the false reporter. Okay. So if you're found to have abused your child, I'm sure the penalties are far greater than that. Yes.
Okay, but there's recourse for those who were accused and found innocent.
Correct.
There's a recourse, even though you don't know who that person is.
You don't know at that point who that reporter is. So as I was explaining with Senator Hobson, if then the CPS goes and investigates the reporter and they find that, yeah, there's credible evidence, and now they may have misinterpreted what they saw or they thought they saw, but they can say on such and such date I was on the car line, I happen to be in line behind Miss Jones here, and she was absolutely wearing that child out in the back seat with her fist. And so that's why I made that report. And then Miss Jones is investigated, she's cleared, she was just having a bad day, and it really wasn't what I thought it was, but I had a reason to believe that bad things were happening in this household, and that's why I reported that. Then the reporter is going to be okay too. I mean, they may have misinterpreted what they saw and based a bad report based on that, but still there was evidence. But if conversely you find that Miss Jones is in a divorce proceeding against yourself, and she's the one that made the report, and you're in the middle of a huge divorce case or custody battle, which all too often is the case, then she's going to have to answer for why did she make a false report just to gain leverage in her divorce case.
Yeah, I just want to make sure we get it right, Senator, because I've said a couple of words to my daughter sometimes. Somebody could say I abused them because I said a couple of words to them that they didn't like. Or I may have popped them on the hand and they didn't like that either.
Right.
I just want to make sure that we don't get to the point to where we're not allowing parents to be parents.
Right.
Those who are in authority to be in authority, but also make sure that the kid is protected all at the same time. That's a tall order.
It's tough.
But it can ruin lives either way. I just want to make sure we get it right the first time.
Absolutely. Okay. And to that point, in order to show that the reporter is in trouble, you have to show two things.
Okay.
Not just that they had credible evidence, but on line 27, you have to prove that they knew it was false when they made the allegation. That's a tall order. It's almost going to require probably some text messaging you get off of their phone showing, I showed him, I made this report, and I knew that they were going to get in trouble for this, even though it wasn't, ha ha ha, something like that. You're going to have to show that they knew it was false.
So that person making that accusation needs to be counseled by who they're making to. That you have got to show you two things.
Two elements. You have to have.
So they got to have some guidance.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's going to be tough. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Senator Hill, what purpose?
Question.
You yield, Senator
Certainly,
Hill.
yes.
Senator Hill, you're recognized.
Thank you. First of all, thank you for doing this. It's been long needed. I guess my question would be, when CPS continually shows up at someone's house like you're talking about, and it's some type of family dispute or divorce dispute, and the continual harassment continues, and CPS keeps knocking on the door of this person's house, right now they have no recourse unless we pass this bill except take the harassment, correct?
Well, that's a lot of truth to that. And the downside of that, not only is it aggravation and stress on the person they're visiting, but
the child.
The child is getting dragged out of school repeatedly, and real abuse that's going on someplace else is not being investigated because they're tying their time up with limited finite resources investigating these false claims that are being used for harassment purposes, typically in a divorce case, a custody case, or maybe a political case, when they really need to be over there investigating actual abuse and neglect going on.
And I think that, if I remember correctly, there was a TV spot several years ago on this, and the amount of false reports was horrendous. It was a huge number. It was a huge percentage. I think it was like 80%. It was something crazy that the false reports were so huge. So that tells you that they're taking up a huge amount of resources, correct?
That is true. And I mean, if you just look at, there's only 52 of us in here.
Yes.
And I know of at least 3 different instances in a body of only 52 where this has happened, where during the midst of a campaign, somebody made a false report in the midst of a political campaign, obviously to try to gain, political points and this type of thing. And in those instances, resources were being expended, time, man hours were being expended for nothing when real abuse cases were going unchecked.
Yeah, and sometimes it comes to the point to where even when CPS knows it's a false report, that they have to go through so many channels to try to clear it. Would you be surprised that a judge even had to get involved for them to clear me of a false report of 2 children that I never had that was supposedly being neglected in my home?
Exactly. It's a shame.
And those judges don't have time for that either, do they?
It's taking up valuable docket time.
Thank you.
Sure.
Okay, see no further questions, Senator.
I move adoption of the strike all.
Move adoption of, do we need to adopt, we need to do the amendment first?
You want to do the amendment? Okay. There's
let's do the
an
amendment.
on the, hopefully we can put the
amendment to the strike
on the board. All right, so the purpose of this amendment is to apply it not only to mandatory reporters, but to all reports of child abuse and neglect that come into CPS. That's what the amendment does. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
No questions.
I move adoption of the amendment.
Senator moves adoption of the amendment. Well, we do have one question. I'm sorry. Senator Hobson, what purpose?
Question, Mr. President.
Adoption, question on the amendment?
Sure.
Senator Hobson.
Thank you, Mr. President and Senator Fillingham. On the mandatory reporters, is it still everything else is the same, the burden's the same, the credible evidence is the same, et cetera?
Yes, sir. And so the reason for the amendment is the way Representative Felsher wrote his original bill, he only included the code section dealing with mandatory reporters. He wasn't getting to people just in the car line making these reports, and that's usually where most of, in my opinion, the abuse comes from, not the mandatory reporters. They're usually doing a pretty good job of doing what they're supposed to do. It's the soon-to-be ex-spouse or the political opponent or someone who's not a mandatory reporter that we need to capture. So that's the amendment.
Yeah, I hear you. Let me give you one scenario and make sure we're on target with this.
Sure.
If I'm a teacher at the school or a counselor and I see a student who's got bruises all over him or her.
Yes. You've got to report
typically
that.
they're going to report that. But if I'm that teacher or counselor and I have no idea how they got the bruises on them,
it doesn't matter.
That doesn't affect the burden.
You're
the
required to
credible
report.
evidence. You've got evidence that something's happened,
Yes,
but
and
you don't
you-
know that it's the parent that caused it. There's not going to be any
Not
retribution
your,
or
right.
reprisal against the
Not your
teacher.
role. You saw the bruises repeatedly on this child. You're required to report under the law.
Right, but I just want to make sure if the new law that you're proposing doesn't require that they're reporting the parent without the knowledge
No,
that the
that
parents
is
did anything.
credible evidence that you use to base your report upon.
But it's not against the parent necessarily, it's just credible evidence that they've been.
It doesn't matter.
But you're sure of that?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Senator Dupree, on the amendment, you have a question?
Yeah, a question. You may have answered the question for me.
You yield, Senator.
Sure.
You may have already answered the question.
No worries.
Okay, because there are, and I know of several occasions where the children of the parents have made the accusation. If you
Sure.
will. What does this bill do to accommodate that, or is still the investigation?
Right.
If it's found false, then what happens after that?
Well, as long as the reporter, and in some cases, they're mandatory reporters, like teachers are mandatory reporters, pastors are mandatory reporters. So if the child...
The child the child contacts CPS.
Oh, well,
about the parent.
obviously, if the child were to contact CPS, CPS is required to investigate. And the child, obviously, if they're not going to be held, I mean, they're going to be investigated to see if they're being abused, clearly. And if they're not being abused, they're not being abused. There's nothing that can happen to the child, obviously.
I just
Sure.
Yeah, because, you got so many people out there, mandatory, not mandatory,
Sure.
passes by the child themselves, or the children themselves can do the same thing.
Oh, absolutely.
As a retaliatory way
Yeah.
to get,
Good
against
point.
their parents, yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, no further questions, Senator.
Move adoption of the amendment.
Senator moves for adoption of the amendment. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. The ayes have it. The amendment's
And
adopted.
move adoption of the strike all amendment now.
Move adoption of the strike all amendment. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. The ayes have it. Senator.
Move adoption by use of the morning roll call.
The senator suggests the use of morning roll call, final passage. Any senator object? Any senator wish to be recorded as voting no? Senator Dupree as no. Senator Eisen, no. Jackson is present. Present, okay. Senator Turner Ford as no. Anyone else? Seeing no others, please record all others present by use of morning roll call as voting aye, and the bill is passed. Okay. Senator Tate, I'm sorry.
Introduction, Mr. President.
You're recognized.
Ladies and gentlemen of the Senate, if you will direct your attention to the West Gallery, if y'all will stand, we have with us the Director of Meridian Main Street, Matt Shanrock, and Director of Lauderdale County Tourism, Ms. Laura Carmichael. They do a great job of promoting East Mississippi. If y'all will, please make them feel welcome.
Welcome to the Senate. Senator Chasnow, what purpose?
For an introduction, Mr. President.
You're recognized, Senator.
Also in the West Gallery, I would like for the Senate to make welcome the Main Street members from the wonderful city of Duck Hill, Mississippi, Teresa Crockett and Dr. Jean Bryant. Please wave, ladies.
Welcome to your Senate. Okay, seeing no others. Okay, we'll go to Senator Fillingham, 37, pass and retain. We'll go to Senator Barr, 38, pass and retain, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, Senator, pass and retain that item as well. Go to Senator Younger, item 44.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to retain items 44 through 46 and ask them to pass and retain.
We'll pass and retain items 44, 45, and 46. Go to item 47, Senator Younger.
Have the title read, please.
Please read the title.
House Bill number 1402, Memorial Highway designated segment of U.S. Highway 49 North as Colonel Donnell Berry.
Senator makes the usual motion.
Makes the usual motion.
Senator makes the usual motion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. The ayes have it. Senator Younger.
This is a segment of Highway 49 North located in Yazoo County, Mississippi. It's extending for a distance of approximately 1 mile and is designated and shall be known as the Colonel Donald Berry Memorial Highway. With us today in the Senate, we have Mrs. Winnie Berry and her son Noah Berry in the South Gallery behind me. And Colonel Donald Berry devoted more than 35 years of service to the Mississippi Highway Patrol, where he distinguished himself as a respected leader and public servant committed to the safety of Mississippi's roads and highways. A native of Bentonia, Mississippi, Colonel Berry maintained strong ties to his hometown and to the state throughout his life and career. He graduated from Bentonia Gibbs High School in 1980, earned a Bachelor of Science degree in Business Administration from Alcorn State University. His interest in law enforcement began at an early age. Inspired by observing Mississippi Highway Patrol vehicles on the highways near his home, he later reflected that he was fascinated with that patrol car and knew that one day he would drive one too. Throughout his career, Colonel Berry was supported by his wife and was a devoted father to his 3 children. His leadership and his service left a lasting impact on the Mississippi Highway Patrol and on many communities that he served. If there are no questions, Mr. President, I ask the morning roll call for passage.
Seeing no questions, Senator suggests use morning roll call final passage. Any senator object? Anyone wish to be recorded as voting no? Seeing none, please record all present by the use of the morning roll call as voting aye, and the bill is passed. Thank you, Senator Younger. Okay, we'll go to item 48. Senator Bryan will pass and retain. Senator Johnson, item 49.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to pass and retain item 49 and go to item number 50 and ask that the title be read.
We'll pass and retain 49, go to item 50, House Bill 1137. And please read title.
Certified Public Accountants provides education and experience requirements for licensure.
Make the usual motions.
Senator makes the usual motion. All in favor say aye. All opposed, no. The ayes have it. Senator Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. President. This bill is the exact same as we passed out Senate Bill 2830. It is in regards to certified public accountants and the requirements to sit for the CPA exam. As you'll remember, we discussed that currently you need 150 college credit hours to sit for the CPA exam, along with some other things. That generally incorporates extra hours past graduation, as graduation usually is around the 120, 122 mark. Many people end up going to graduate school. This would allow for people to continue that path, but also if they just get a degree in accounting, there are some work requirements where they can still sit for the CPA exam without going back for the master's, and that's an explanation of the bill.
Okay, see no questions, Senator.
Move adoption using the morning roll call.
Senator suggests use morning roll call final passage. Any senator object? Any senator wish to be recorded as voting no? Seeing none, please record all present by the use of morning roll call as voting aye, and the bill is passed. Senator Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to go to the next item, item number 51, and ask that the title be read.
Please read title.
House Bill 1265, Mississippi Debt Management Services Act, extend repealer.
Make the usual motions.
Senator makes the usual motion. All in favor say aye. All
Aye.
opposed, no. The ayes have it. Senator Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is exactly like Senate Bill 2011 that we passed out. All it does is extend the repeal date for 4 years to 2030 on the Mississippi Debt Management Services Act, and that's an explanation of the bill.
Okay, see no questions, Senator.
Move adoption using the morning roll call.
Senator suggests use the morning roll call final passage. Any senator object? Anyone wish to be recorded as voting no? Seeing none, please record all present by the use of morning roll call as voting aye, and the bill is passed. Senator Johnson.
I'd like to pass and retain items 52 and 53 and go to item number 54 and ask that the title be read.
We'll pass and retain items 52, 53. Go to item 54. Please read title.
House Bill 346, landscape architects authorized to participate with multidisciplinary engineer and architecture firms.
Make the usual motion.
Senator makes the usual motion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. The ayes have it. Senator Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. President. This bill would allow for landscape architects to join practices with engineering companies and architects. Currently, under Mississippi law, a landscape architect cannot participate in a partnership or firm with these other disciplines. This would allow for them to do that. It creates opportunity for a one-stop shop so that you can have a building designed, including the landscape part, all from one firm. And it is optional. It does not require that anybody join a firm, but it just simply allows for them to do that. And that's an explanation of what the bill does.
Okay, see no questions. Senator, motion?
Motion is that we adopt using the morning roll call.
The senator suggests use morning roll call, final passage. Any senator object? Any senator wish to be recorded as voting no? Seeing none, please record all. Oh, I'm sorry, Senator England, no? All right. Seeing no others, please record all others present by the use of morning roll call as voting aye, and the bill is passed. Now we'll go to item 55, Senator Michelle.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to go to that item, 55, House Bill 565, and ask that the title be read.
Please read title.
House Bill 565, Health Benefit Plans and Medicaid required to offer coverage for biomarker testing.
I'd like to make the usual motion.
Senator makes the usual motion. All in favor say aye. All opposed, no. The ayes have it. Senator Michelle.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is the companion bill to the biomarker legislation that we passed. There's one change to it in the House bill in that they named it for one of their members' wives who passed away with cancer. This bill provides that insurers will cover biological marker testing for the treatment and management of a patient's cancer. And biomarkers are contained in a patient's tissue and blood and can target a patient's treatment. And many times in this instance can avoid treatments like chemotherapy and radiation, and they can receive a targeted treatment proven more effective. There's research underway now also to benefit patients with heart disease, Alzheimer's, and infectious diseases as well. The first 5 pages of the legislation, the gist of the legislation, and the rest of the language conforms to the Medicaid and prior authorization sections. Again, and this bill is also now named Jill's Law in honor of the wife of Representative Casey Urey's wife, Jill. Be glad to yield any questions.
See no questions. Senator, motion.
I move passage by use of the morning roll call.
The senator suggests the use of morning roll call, final passage. Any senator object? Any senator wish to be recorded as voting no? Seeing none, please record all present by the use of morning roll call as voting aye, and the bill is passed. Senator Michelle.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to go to item 56, House Bill number 856, and ask that the title be read.
Please read title.
House Bill 856, Advanced Metastatic Cancer, leave, repeal, or on prohibition against health plans requiring step therapy before covering certain drugs to treat.
I'd like to make the usual motion.
Senator makes the usual motion. All in favor say aye. All opposed,
Aye.
no. The ayes have it. Senator Michelle.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Senator Michelle, before you start, we've got a couple of people
Right.
that have had their light on for some time. Do you mind to me interrupt you for just a moment? Senator Mumford, for what purpose?
For introduction out of order.
Okay. Yes, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. It is my great pleasure to welcome the students of Christ Covenant School. They are in the gallery. Will you all stand and be recognized? This is the 4th grade class. And they're joined by their teacher, Ms. Hendricks and Ms. Shinnick. Welcome, y'all.
Welcome to your Senate. Senator Blunt, for what purpose? Pass? Okay. Okay, Senator Michelle, sorry for the interruption.
That's quite all right, Mr. President. Thank you. This bill deals with an issue that we passed 3 years ago in deleting a repealer. It deals with metastatic cancer. When cancer has metastasized, that means it's moved to other areas of the body and other areas through tissue or fluids in the body. We passed this legislation 3 years ago, but we had concerns about the cost to our state health plan, so we did what we thought was a responsible thing and put a repealer in the legislation. Commissioner Cheney told us that it probably would not be any significant cost to the state plan, and in some instances it could actually save money by getting the patient to the most effective treatment. This is known as fail first or step therapy. In some instances, the insurance companies require a patient to take drug A, which is not proven to be effective, and then if that fails, then go to drug B, and if that fails, then go to drug C, which might be the drug, which is the drug that's proven to be most effective. So we saw no negative impacts on our state health plan, and this legislation simply removes the repealer. Be glad to yield any questions on that.
No questions under motion.
My motion is title sufficient to pass.
Use the morning roll call.
I'm sorry, use the morning roll call. Final passage, Mr. President.
The senator suggests the use of the morning roll call for final passage. Any senator object? Any senator wish to be recorded as voting no? Seeing none, please record all present by use of morning roll call as voting aye. Bill is passed.
I'd like to pass item 57 and item 58 and ask that they could retain their place on the calendar and go to item 59, House Bill 1332, and ask that the title be read.
We'll pass and retain 57, 58, go to 59. Please read title.
House Bill 1332, insurance producer license, require testing service administering examinations to adhere to National Association of Insurance Commissioners standards.
I'd like to make the usual motion.
Senator makes the usual motion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. The ayes have it. Senator Michelle.
I ask that Senator Suber be recognized to explain the legislation.
Senator Suber, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is a companion bill that we had previously passed out of the Senate. No new language. This is just stating any testing service that's administering any kind of exam that we will stay with the minimum standards as set by the National Association of Insurance Commissioners. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
See no questions, Senator. Motion.
Make a motion to pass based off the morning roll call.
The senator suggests the use of morning roll call, final passage. Any senator object? Any senator wish to be recorded as voting no? Seeing none, please record all present to use morning roll call as voting aye, and the bill has passed. Now we'll go. Thank you, senators. We'll go to item 60. Senator DeBar. Pass and retain. Pass and retain item 61, 62, and 63. Pass and retain 64. Oh, pass and retain 63 and go to item 64, Senator.
That's right, Mr. President. I'd like to pass and retain item 63, go to item 64, and ask the title be read.
Please read the title.
House Bill 1520, Dancing Rabbit Creek Treaty Property, authorized transfer to the Mississippi Band of Choctaw Indians.
Thank you.
Senator, make the usual motion.
Yes, sir. Make the usual motion.
Senator makes the usual motion. All in favor say aye. All opposed, no. Ayes have it. Senator.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to recognize Senator Taylor to explain the bill.
Senator Taylor, you're recognized to explain.
Thank you, Mr. President. Senate, this is a simple bill. This comes from us by the Department of Archives and History. They have got about 20 acres where the peace treaty of Dancing Rabbit was signed at. They have owned this property for quite some time. They are now wishing to donate it to the Mississippi Band of Choctaw Indians. They have a plan to create a meaningful area with maybe some picnic tables and some recreational items for the community. So after speaking to Senator Hickman and getting information on this, I ask for your consideration. This comes from us from Representative Bounds in the House. Mr. Chairman, I yield for any questions. Mr. President, I yield for any questions.
Senator Hickman, for what purpose?
Question, Mr. President.
Do you yield for a question?
Yes.
Senator Hickman, you recognize?
I know we've already spoke about this, so it's a friendly question. Are there any restrictions on what they're able to do to the property once we transfer it to them?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
No restrictions.
All right, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, see no further questions. Senator, motion is...
Move we use the pass by use of morning roll call.
The senator suggests the use of morning roll call for final passage. Any senator object? Any senator wish to be recorded as voting no? Seeing none, please record all present. Oh, we've got one. Present for Senator Turner Ford. Okay. Seeing no others, please record all others present by the use of morning roll call as voting aye, and the bill is passed. Senator Barrett.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to pass and retain item 65 and go to item 66 and ask that the title be read, please.
Pass and retain item 65. Go to item 66. Please read the title.
House Bill 1732, Public Property, authorized Department of Finance and Administration to sell and convey.
Make the usual motion.
Senator makes the usual motion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed no. The ayes have it. Senator, you recognize.
Thank you, Mr. President. I ask that Senator Tate be recognized to explain the bill.
Senator Tate, you recognize.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. House Bill 732 is the same bill that we passed off of this floor about a month or so ago. This is where we have the Mississippi Department of Public Safety that has their DPS station next to a data center that's being built in Meridian, and the data center is expanding and it needs more property, and that's the most appropriate way to go, and they're willing to buy that piece of property from us. So that's an explanation of the bill.
Okay, no question, Senator. Motion.
We have a committee substitute that I'd like to adopt.
Oh, you do have? Okay.
And that amendment, all that does is just specify that all the monies derived from the sale will go to the state general fund. If there's no questions, my motion is we adopt the committee sub.
Motion is to adopt the committee sub. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Ayes have it.
If there's no other questions, I suggest passage by use of the morning roll call.
Senator suggests the use of morning roll call final passage. Any senator object? Anyone wish to be recorded for voting? No. Seeing none, please record all present. The use of morning roll call is voting aye, and the bill is passed. Senator Barrett.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to go to item 6.7 and ask that the title be read.
Please read the title.
House Bill 1716, Mississippi Main Street Revitalization Grant Program Act, revised certain provisions.
I'll make the usual motion.
Senator makes the usual motion. All in favor say aye. All opposed, no. The ayes have it. Senator Barrett.
Mr. President, I would ask that Senator Williams be recognized to explain the bill.
Senator Williams, you recognize.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. On that note, if I may have a point of personal privilege, there was a pretty important game last night that ended up 6-7. At the proper time, I will have an amendment on this bill, Mr. President. A couple things that we want to do. This is the Main Street Revitalization Grant Program. This has come before us the last couple of years in a couple of different ways. I want to kind of briefly go through it and be glad to get in the weeds if you want me to. In 2023, this legislation was created with our Main Street Revitalization Program Act. Our Main Street program communities were able to submit criteria for grant awards. Over the last couple of years, we've worked this to get it where it's actionable that counties, cities, municipalities, not just members of Main Street, can enter into that. And last year, as we went through it, there was some language that the governor did not like. We've worked with the executive branch, and I think we've got this bill exactly where the governor wants it at this time. With that being said, we do want to keep a repealer in it just so we can keep working it in case there is some final language that we need to do with it. There was about $9.8 million over the last two sessions that have been allocated for, I believe, 27 projects that have already been approved. This money has been appropriated, and with the approval of this bill, it would allow that money to be let. At the same time, as we go forward, and if we appropriate money each year for this, there will be the criteria that's followed to apply for this grant program. It will be administered by MDA, and the funds will be awarded out of MDA. It will be with the assistance of the Main Street Association, and most of our communities have those in one level or another. There's over 80 of them throughout the state, and today, ironically, is that day is Main Street Day at the Capitol. With that being said, I will yield for questions, Mr. President.
No questions. Now you offer the amendment?
I would like to offer the amendment. Let's get it on the screen. There are a couple things we're doing in here. I'm sorry, there's also a document being passed out. The 27 grant awardees and the amounts and where they are is what that is that have already been approved. And I must add that these grants that are submitted to MDA will be, by I believe, November, will come back to us during the legislative session for final approval. So we are the final ones that will approve these grants. That's what's on the screen. I have an amendment. If we can get it on the screen, I'll explain it. The first part of the amendment, we're striking lines 39 through 47. That's just some language around the funds that might or might not be available for 27, subject to appropriations that I think initially may have been there just to make sure things didn't get mucked up. But I think we've got the language clear, so that language is no longer needed, so it's being omitted. And then I said, it's also we're adding a reverse repealer in it. If there are no questions on the amendment, I would move adoption of the amendment, Mr. President.
Senator Suber, what purpose?
A question on the bill, not the amendment.
Not the amendment. Let's vote on the amendment and come back to the bill. Okay, all in favor of the amendment say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. All right, the ayes have it. The amendment's adopted. Now, Senator Suber, on the bill.
question.
Yes, I yield.
Senator Sobel, you recognize.
Senator Williams, is this going to all the Main Street communities?
Yes, sir. This grant program is not available, it's available not only to Main Street communities, but all cities, municipalities, and counties. There was concern in the genesis of this bill that we would not, that would just be open to Main Street, but it's open to all communities.
But what about, I see there's just a few Main Street communities on here. Was this open to all of them? Is this the ones that aren't on here, do they not apply? We're not,
What you've got are the awardees, and I can't tell you what communities applied or didn't, and obviously there was a criteria that they had to meet in order to be accepted for the award. For municipalities under 10,000, it is a 10% match. For municipalities over 10,000, it's a 20% match. In other words, $500,000, you'd have to spend, $50,000, $100,000 of local money. That can't be state money for it, but the application process is open to all.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Senator McConnell, for what purpose?
Question.
You yield, Senator McConnell.
Yes, sir, I do.
Senator, you're recognized.
Senator Williams, you and I have worked diligently on this. They're
Yes,
all
sir.
our tenure together, and I do appreciate that. I do have a question on the list there. We haven't extended our criteria any other direction. I see some things on there that I just question as to whether they're Main Street influenced or whether we're maybe delving into some areas of some renovations to buildings that maybe we shouldn't be. I want to be sure that we're doing what we're saying we're doing and not using it for other purposes.
Senator, that's a very good point. In off session, we had a conversation with the executive branch and we looked at the list that was before us. As I recall, there were 2 projects that I saw that I expressed the exact concern that you did that have been looked at, in my understanding, removed from that. So I'm of the belief that, yes, sir, we are. As I say that, trust but verify, I think, is something that is very prudent in this. Not that we've got players trying to do wrong, but having criteria that's defined for the betterment of our Main Street communities, not to offset private equity, if I'm saying that correctly. That's a very good point, and I brought that up.
Well, and I do appreciate you are always very diligent and prudent with your measures. And I don't want us to get to where we're bowing to political pressure. We're staying with regards to our criteria, and we're doing what the board approves. And that's what I ask of you as you move forward.
Thank you for that point, and I'm committed to try to ensure we stay between those lines, sir.
Okay, well, one other question. Senator Turner Ford, what purpose?
I have a question.
You yield?
I do, sir.
Senator Turner Ford, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you, Senator. You may have mentioned this. I want to make sure I'm clear. We're now adding counties.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. That is correct.
And so the capability of a county to receive a grant under this program, the property must be located in the municipal limits, or is that?
I am not 100% sure. I'm sorry. I did not refresh up on the criteria for what you qualify for a grant for. I will be glad to try to find the answer to that and answer that. When this program started, as Senator McConnell said, we worked diligently. This thing pretty had a narrow group that could qualify. You would have to be a Main Street participant, if you will. That was expanded to try to not leave anybody out, quite honestly. And I would be glad to get you a specific answer on if it is inside the municipality or not.
And so the list of awardees will now be subject to legislative approval, is that?
What we have before us are awardees that we have approved in the last 2 sessions. I just wanted to have that out there in front. If we get this legislation through, these dollars have been appropriated, these checks will be written. As we move forward, the criteria is still there. If we appropriate money this year, and there's conversations about that, for 27, then the applicants will have to go through the grant process, and the awardees that are determined by MDA with Main Street's consent or advice, if you will be submitted to us in the 27 session, at which point we would approve or not approve those. And
would the list be distributed to all legislators? I know it does not say that it's only going to chairs of committees, but well, that's something that will be made available to all of us?
This should have been distributed to everybody.
No, not this list, but going forward.
Yes. Let me confirm that and make sure that is the case. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, Senator.
Okay, no further questions, Senator.
We've adopted the amendment, and I would move for passage of by I would request use of the morning roll call.
Okay. The senator suggests the use of morning roll call, final passage. Any senator object? Any senator wish to be recorded as voting no? Seeing none, please record all present by use of morning roll call as voting aye, and the bill is passed. Now, we're about to break to lunch, but any announcements need to be made before lunch? Senator Berry, announcement?
Yes, sir, announcement. The Mississippi Forestry Association would like to remind you they have a lunch today from 11:30 to 1 at the Old Capitol Inn. Thank you.
Senator Tate for an announcement.
Two announcements. Main Street will have a legislative luncheon at Capitol Club at 11:30 today. And also the Mississippi Tourism Association and Gaming and Hospitality Association will have their legislative reception at the South tonight from 5 to 7.
Thank you, Senator. Senator Blackwell.
I move we stand in recess till 1 p.m.
Motion is stand in recess to 1 p.m. All in favor say aye. All opposed, no. The ayes
Calendar. Senator Delano, for what purpose?
Introduction.
Please proceed.
Ladies and gentlemen of the Senate, in the North Gallery, we have some people here with us today from Biloxi High. Today we've got the hospitality and tourism class as well as the business and marketing classes from Biloxi. They made a long trip this morning, woke up really early to get up here and see us. So on behalf of Senator Carter and myself, and the senior senator from Jackson County, I'd like to say welcome them to our Senate, and thank you very much for coming up.
Glad to have you with us, Senator Barrett.
Introduction, Mr. President.
Please proceed.
Sitting on the south side of the floor is my beautiful daughter, Mary Elizabeth Barrett. Please make her feel
Mary
welcome.
Elizabeth.
Hey.
Very poor substitute for spring bake, Mary Elizabeth, but whatever. Your dad's working, so that's good. Senator Tate, let's go.
Okay. All right. Yes, sir, Mr. President. I'd like to go to item number 68, House Bill 1713. That's the title.
Mr. Clerk, please read the title.
House Bill 1713, state-sponsored life insurance program provide for National Guard members.
Make the usual motion.
Senator makes the usual motion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Please proceed.
Yes, sir. Ladies and gentlemen of the Senate, House Bill 1713 is brought to us by our Mississippi Military Department to facilitate and oversee a state-sponsored life insurance program. We currently have this in law, but what we have did not codify was the fact that our Adjutant General would be the official state sponsor of the programming, and that would align Mississippi up with neighboring states that have codified this type of law. This is in 40 other states. We've been doing this since 1962, but we've never codified actually who was to oversee the state-sponsored life insurance. That's an explanation of the bill. I'll be happy to take any questions.
Questions on the bill? Seeing none, we're ready for your motion, Senator.
Final passage by use of the morning roll call.
This morning roll call been requested. Anyone object? We should be recording voting no. Present. Seeing none, bill passes by use of morning roll call. Senator Hickman. Senator Hickman. Pass and retain. Senator Simmons. Senator Simmons. Pass and retain. Turner Ford. Pass and retain. Senator Wiggins. Senator Wiggins. Pass and retain. Senator Thompson. Thompson. Pass and retain. Senator Whaley. Pass and retain. Senator Carter. Senator Carter. Senator Johnson. Senator Johnson. Senator Delano. Pass and retain. Senator Michelle. Pass and retain. Senator Fillingane. Senator Fillingane, we're on 101 Senate.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to ask that items 101 through 103 retain their place on the calendar, and if we could go to item 104, call it up and have the title read.
Mr. Clerk, please read the title.
House Bill 1546, human trafficking, exclude from expungement felony violations of.
Make the usual motion.
Senator makes the usual motion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Please proceed.
And if you will recognize Senator Sparks, the Vice Chairman, to explain the strike all.
Senator Sparks, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. House Bill 1546 is addressing the expungement provisions.
We got a strike call there first, Senator.
I'm sorry?
You need to be recognized for the strike call?
Yes, sir. Recognize, explain, strike all.
You recognize or explain the strike call, sir?
Thank you, Mr. President. There is a strike all amendment that addresses expungement in the state of Mississippi. There's a couple of things that it does. One is it shortens the period of time on a request for a felony expunction from 5 years to 3 years. That does not in any way guarantee an expungement. It just allows you to file for that on a felony that is eligible for expungement. The second thing that it does is that it excludes from expungibility the felony procuring of prostitution as described under Section 972951 or promoting prostitution. Those crimes would no longer be expungible, and that is in Section 1 of strike all. In Section 2, we're addressing the individual who has been designated and deemed a trafficked person not to be criminally liable for a misdemeanor, non-DUI, or felony offense that is not a crime of violence that occurred during the time period in which the victim was being trafficked, and in addition to that is a direct result of the victim's trafficking. So it would only apply in the very limited circumstance where someone has been deemed a trafficked individual that the offense that is alleged occurred during that period of time of being trafficked, and it was a direct correlation to the traffic circumstances. And that would allow them to have that opportunity, and then expungement, again, of offenses of those, not crime of violence, but those who have been deemed as trafficked, and again, it goes back to the person is designated as trafficked and engaged in the offense as a direct result of his or her status as a victim. This strike all is the language that the Senate has passed prior in a Senate bill, and that would be an explanation of strike all, Mr. President. I would yield any questions.
Senator Hill, for what purpose, ma'am?
EUI part.
Senator, will you yield for a question?
So that
Senator
would
Hill,
be,
you're recognized.
That would be one expungement allowable on a misdemeanor DUI, or what would that entail?
No, it excludes DUI from being in this special category of criminal liability for a trafficked person. So
okay, so DUI, you still can't get it expunged.
No, it's not about expungement on that. It's criminal liability. In other words, if someone is trafficked and they committed let's say a shoplifting offense that is a felony, that's a nonviolent felony, and the proof was that this person has been deemed a trafficked person, and that during that period of time of trafficking, that crime was a direct result of them being trafficked, being made to do that, they would potentially not have criminal liability for that. So it's misdemeanors.
Except for DUI.
Except DUI, yeah.
DUI is the exception, so they would still be held criminally
They'd
liable
still be
for
held
DUI.
criminally liable,
But
that's
any other misdemeanor, nonviolent, they could not be held.
Depending on a judge, a finding of their trafficked, and
gotcha.
it was a direct result.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Seeing no further questions, Senator Sparks.
Move for adoption of the strike all.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ayes have it, Senator.
And move for final passage on the morning roll call.
Use of morning roll call has been requested. Anyone object? Should be recorded voting no. Simmons, no. Anyone else? Anyone else? Seeing none, the bill passes by use of morning roll call. One no vote. Senator Fillingay.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to move to suspend the rules for the immediate consideration of item number 37, House Bill 1701 on the calendar.
One moment, please.
Item 37.
Okay, Senate, that's on page 4. Motion is to suspend the rule to go back to item 37, House Bill number 1701. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Please proceed.
I'd like to get that item called up and have the title
Mr.
read.
Clerk, please read the title.
House Bill 1701, technical violations, clarify that certain sentencing limits shall not apply to the intervention of drug court participants regarding.
I make the usual motion.
Usual motion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ayes have it.
And if you'll recognize Senator Sparks to explain the strike all.
Senator Sparks, you're recognized to explain the strike all.
Thank you, Mr. President. The strike all in House Bill 1701 is the Senate language. This addresses when someone is in intervention court who may have been on probation prior and received a new charge and therefore pled into intervention court, generally to not go ahead and be violated and go to prison, or they were on probation for a charge. Post-release supervision is an item I will actually have an amendment coming up to capture that as well. But for someone who's on probation, they generally go through a technical violation process that if they're up for revocation to prison, that there is a technical violation process that they're afforded where usually you get a 30-day, 60-day, 90-day potential technical violation sentence. Well, when someone pleads in intervention court, they are pleading into the jurisdiction of the intervention court, and they should not be allowed that technical violation hearing because they have pled into an intervention court. And as the way the intervention courts work, as many of you know, the judges who operate those intervention courts, they're not paid any additional funds to operate intervention court. They are literally doing this as a part of their job. It is a service that everybody that's in intervention court would most likely be in MDOC custody. But for the intervention court, we would be spending $35,000 a year on these individuals, but for intervention court. But when someone fails to follow the rules in intervention court, it is considered a sanction or a violation. So it may be that they consumed alcohol and they weren't supposed to consume alcohol, and the sanction would be 48 hours in jail. This bill would require that if someone has had 3 violations of the intervention court, in other words, the judge has already found them in violation 3 times or more, and that judge who does not want to sentence them to MDOC custody, but at some point, some of these judges are managing 300 or more people in intervention court, at some point I lose my participation in the court because I've been a multi-time violator. When that occurs, if I'm on probation, I don't get a second bite at the apple to then ask for a technical violation hearing because I pled into intervention court to likely not go to prison the first time. So this would clarify that. I think in practice this has always been this way, but to clarify that, because there become questions that someone could not then file for a technical violation. That is an explanation of the bill. I do have an amendment at the proper time for clarification language, but I would yield to any questions at this time, Mr. President.
Okay, see no questions, Senator.
Okay. I will have an amendment then.
We do have a question, I think.
Okay.
Senator Hill, what purpose?
Just a question.
You yield?
I yield.
Senator Hill.
On Section 4, where it talks about if a probationer or offender is subject to registration as a sex offender, the court must make a finding that the probationer or offender is not a danger to the public prior to release with or without bail. Is that new language?
What bill number are you on?
Well, I might be on the wrong one.
I don't have but 2 sections, I don't think, in this bill, or this strike-all.
I'm on 1701. I thought I was looking at the strike-all. Yeah, I'm looking at the strike-all.
Paragraph 4 or section 4?
It's number 4, paragraph 4.
Okay.
Is that new language? Where it talks about a sex offender getting bail?
No, that's all existing language.
That's all existing language.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
I thought it was. I just wanted to make sure.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, no further questions, Senator.
I have an amendment. I believe it's up on the board. And again,
Okay.
this would amend line 87 by striking for probationers who are participants and say for a probationer or a person on post-release supervision. Probation is a sentence that you receive without going to MDOC custody. Post-release supervision is probation after your release. So you're both probationers, but after consultation with legal, we felt that both needed to be mentioned so that we didn't exclude or fail to capture those individuals. So I would yield to any questions on the amendment, Mr. President.
No questions, Senator.
I move for adoption of the amendment.
Senator moves for adoption of the amendment. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. The ayes have it. Senator?
And if there are no further questions, I would move for adoption of the strike all as amended.
Move for the strike all as amended. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no.
And if there are no further questions,
Ayes have it.
move for passage on the morning roll call.
Senator suggests use the morning roll call final passage. Any senator object? Anyone wish to be recorded as voting no? Seeing none, please record all present by use of morning roll calls voting aye, and the bill has passed. Thank you, Senator. Now we'll go back to item, what is it, 105? Yes, sir. Let me find it real quick. Okay. Senator, pass and retain. Also 106, Senator, and pass and retain 107. All right, we'll go to Senator Sparks, item 108.
Thank you, Mr. President. Move that item be called up and the title read.
Please read the title.
House Bill 1696, Mississippi Office of Apprenticeship, created under the Department of Employment Security.
Make the usual motion.
Senator makes the usual motion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Ayes have it. Senator Sparks.
Mr. President, I'd like to be recognized to explain the bill.
You're recognized to explain.
Thank you, Mr. President. House Bill 1696 creates the Mississippi Office of Apprenticeship. This is something that is necessary in the apprentice field. There is new opportunities coming out of the federal government focusing on apprenticeships, and this is a requirement of the federal government to be able to draw down those federal funds. We've been working with the Department of Labor to try to get the language correct on this. There will be representatives on this advisory committee that will include individuals from labor who have operated apprenticeships, currently have apprenticeships, and so we're trying to get the membership of this correct and also follow the Department of Labor's guidance. I would have a amendment at the proper time to add a reverse repealer because we're still receiving information from the Department of Labor, but that is an explanation of the bill, and I would yield to any questions on the bill at this time, Mr. President.
No questions, Senator.
Then I would move for the adoption of a reverse repealer amendment. I believe that should be on the board, or I have one in my hand if y'all don't have it. This committee amendment, did it get in? Okay.
Senator Dupree, for what purpose?
Mr. President, I wanted to ask a question on the bill.
No, please.
If I could.
You're right. You yield, Senator Dupree.
So you're going to create an Office of Apprenticeship?
That's correct.
Okay. And that Office of Apprenticeship, you haven't determined how it's going to be populated?
Not in totality. It will follow the guidance of the Department of Labor. In other words, they will have requirements for our office apprenticeship to actually qualify for money, and that will include representatives from organized labor. It will include representatives of people who have operated actual apprenticeships, probably from the educational sphere, but it's why this is not a final product yet. We don't want to leave this session without establishing it, because if we do, then we don't get to participate in the Department of Labor's apprenticeship grant program. But we also want to create it in a manner that it actually functions, and one of the requirements is that organized labor is represented on this advisory council.
Well, I wanted to make sure that they were included in it, like IBEW and some of those other unions. Also, the community colleges who operate those types of programs, get them prepared for those technical jobs. If they could consider also not leaving them out of the process.
And a lot of this will be driven by the federal government because they're the one that's funding the majority of it, and it has to be a true apprenticeship program. So a lot of times the IBEW or unions have operated apprenticeship programs for years, which is why they need to be on the advisory committee to make sure that that's happening. But anything that qualifies under the DOL apprenticeship would be considered in this, and the Office of Mississippi Accelerate will continue, or Accelerate Mississippi will continue to have a heavy hand in making sure that this happens.
That was my other question about Accelerate. So thank you, sir.
Thank you, Senator.
Okay, no further questions. The amendment?
The amendment's to add a reverse repealer. I would yield to any questions on the amendment.
No questions.
There are no questions. Move for adoption of the amendment.
Senator moves for adoption of the amendment. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. The ayes have it.
If there are no further questions on the bill, I would move for passage, final passage on the morning roll call.
Senator suggests the use of morning roll call, final passage. Any senator object? Any senator wish to be recorded as voting no? Seeing none, please record all present by use of morning roll call as voting aye, and the bill is passed. We go to item 109, Senator Johnson. Pass. 110, Senator Boyd.
Mr. President, I call up item 110, HB 1495, and ask the title be read.
Please read the title.
House Bill 1495, Starkville-Lockibbeha School District and MSU authorize agreements to have jointly used primary and secondary schools.
Make the usual motion.
I make the usual motion, and I ask Senator Williams to be recognized to explain the bill.
All right, let's do the usual motion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Ayes have it. Usual motion is adopted. Senator Williams, you're recognized to explain.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Madam Chairman. A few weeks ago, we passed Senate Bill number 2238. This is the exact same bill before us today. Our companion bill did not make it out of the House, so this is what we've got. This allows Mississippi State University and the Starkville-Oktibbeha County School District to collaborate with spending funds on the high school that they're in the midst of working on. We did this in 2015, I believe, when the partnership school was also a collaborative effort between the two entities. Just as it expands it to include the high school as they go forward with this. If they have faculty they may want to share, construction costs, architecture costs, things of that nature. It's just a simpler process. Both parties have to mutually agree in order for this to happen. That is a short explanation of the bill. I'd yield for questions, Mr. President. No questions. I would request use of morning roll call for final passage.
Seeing no questions, senators suggest the use of morning roll call for final passage. Any senator object? Anyone wish to be recorded as voting no? Present, Senator Hobson. Seeing no others, please record all others present by the use of the morning roll call as voting aye, and the bill has passed. We go to item 111. Pass item 111, and that retain its place on the calendar. Go to 112. 112, pass it. Oh, I'm sorry. There you are. Pass and retain. 113, Senator Tate.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to go to item number 113 on today's calendar, Senate nomination number 70, and ask the title be read.
Please read title.
Senate nomination number 70, B.G. Billy Lamar Pierce, retired, Decatur, Mississippi State Veterans Affairs Board to represent the 3rd Congressional District. 5-year term effective June 1st, 2025 and ending May 31st, 2030.
Ladies and gentlemen of the Senate, General Pierce came before the Veteran Military Affairs Committee earlier this week, answered all the questions of the committee, and there was no derogatory information in his peer review. And if there are no questions, my motion is that we do advise and consent by use of the morning roll call.
Seeing no, excuse me, seeing no questions, Senator moves that we do advise consent by the use of morning roll call. Anyone object? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone wish to be recorded as voting no? I'm sorry, I forgot about that part. Please record all present by use of morning roll call as voting aye, and the do advise and consent has passed. Senator 114.
Yes, sir. I'd like to go to item number 114, Senate nomination number 71, and ask the title be read.
Please read title.
Senate nomination number 71, Command Sergeant Major Sylvester Tatum, Flowood, Mississippi State Veterans Affairs Board, represent the state at large, 5-year term effective June 1st, 2025 and ending May 31st, 2030.
Command Sergeant Major Sylvester Tatum, just like with the previous one, came before the Veterans and Military Affairs Committee earlier this week. Same thing, no derogatory information. He answered all of the questions that the committee had. If there are no questions, my motion is that we do advise and consent by use of the morning roll call.
Seeing no question, motion is we do advise consent by use of the morning roll call. Any senator object? Any senator wish to be recorded as voting no? Seeing none, please record it. All present by the use of morning roll call is voting aye.
Mr. President, I ask for unanimous consent to suspend the rules and go back on item number 27 on today's calendar under the motion to reconsider calendar.
With no objection, anyone object, go back to suspend the rules, go back to item 27. Seeing no objection, Senator, go back to item 27 on today's calendar.
Yeah, I'd like to ask for the title to be read.
Please read the title.
House Bill 1076, Safeguarding American Veteran Empowerment SAVE Act, create.
My motion is that we table.
Motion is that we table.
Table the motion to reconsider.
There you go. Table the motion to reconsider. Anyone object? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion to reconsider is adopted. All right. Now we go to item 115. Item 115, Senator Bryan will pass and retain that item. Go Senator Carter. We're going to pass items 116, 117, 118. All those will retain their place on the calendar. Go to item 119, Senator Whaley. Senator Whaley asks that we pass and retain that item. Senator Wiggins, 120. Will pass and retain item 120. 121, pass and retain, Senator. And 122, pass and retain. Go to item 123, Senator Boyd. Pass and retain 123. Go to Senator Thompson, 124. Senator Thompson will pass and retain item 124. Go to 125. Will pass and retain 126. 27, 28, 29. Go to item 130, Senator Sparks. Pass and retain 130. Go to 131, Senator Bryan. Will pass and retain item 131, 132, 133, 134, 135, 136. All those will pass and retain their place on the calendar. We'll go to Senator Wiggins, item 137.
Actually, Mr. President, I ask for unanimous consent to suspend the rules and go back to item number 79. Call that.
Number 79?
Yes.
Suspend the rules, go back to item 79. Anyone object? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. That's the rules suspended. Senator?
Go to item 79, call that up, ask the title be read.
Please read the title.
House Bill 1749, Mississippi Supreme Court bring forward sections that regulate.
Make the usual motion.
The senator makes the usual motion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. The ayes have it. Senator Wiggins.
I ask to be allowed to explain the strike-off.
You recognize to explain.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, this is simply the House bill that brought the code sections forward on the Supreme Court districts. As I said, we are working towards that, getting a redistricting map in place. The strike-all is the Senate bill. That's all it is, no changes to that. The House just brought the code sections forward. We had a couple more code sections that dealt with the Public Service Commission and Transportation Commission, and that's what it does, Mr. President. And my motion would be, if there's no questions, to adopt the strike-all.
Motion is adopted. Strike all. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Now we have a couple of questions, Senator, before we have final passage, I think. Senator Hill, for what purpose?
Question.
You yield, Senator Hill.
I do.
So we're waiting on the Supreme Court to decide Louisiana's case, which would typically probably affect this case as well.
Well, that's one of the issues. We are moving forward to develop our own maps, if you will.
Yeah,
but yes, that Louisiana case is a factor.
So I guess I'm asking, what would be the effect if we go on and do this and pass it as a new district, as new districts, and then before any new election we get a ruling from the Supreme Court? What would happen?
Honestly, Senator, I can't say. If I understand your question, if we
I think you do understand my question. It's like who knows, right?
Oh,
Like,
are you asking?
I'm asking, because I don't know. I'm just saying.
Are you asking if we develop our maps and then the Louisiana case comes into place? That's what you're asking?
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. Like, what would we do if we go on and develop these maps and we pass a bill to redistrict, and then the Louisiana case comes up favorably for me or whomever thinks it should stay like it is, and then are we bound to that election in November after we pass redistricting? Could we come back and suspend and come back to our original lines? Are we what I'm saying is, if we pass this, it becomes effective immediately, and then 2 weeks later, the Supreme Court comes back with the decision that says, you know, we basically don't have to do this, then we're stuck. Are we stuck? That's what I'm asking.
Well, I'm still a little confused, but I'll say this. This is the Supreme Court districts. Okay, not anything dealing with legislature or anything like that. The legislature, we have control to redistrict when we want to, in that sense. So if
I'm talking about the Supreme Court. That's what I'm talking about, Supreme Court districts.
Right, and so then the Louisiana case is, look, I am no expert in that, but it's dealing with, I think on the federal level, the votes there and the laws there. I know I can say this, that when we did judicial redistricting, I was told that the Federal Voting Rights Act didn't apply like it does when you do legislative redistricting. That's because it's judiciary in nature. And so I know what's been stated by both the House and where we are, and that is we want the legislature to draw our lines and not leave it up to the federal court, because that hasn't been very good for us.
Well, and I think we've already won a case at the Supreme Court, the state Supreme Court, back in 2011, where the courts were trying to redistrict, and I think our lieutenant governor was one who led that case that said the Constitution says the legislature shall reapportion. And so we've won a case already against the court drawing, if my memory is correct on how that case was.
But that was legislative, if that's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
This is judiciary.
But how is it different under the Voting Rights Act?
That's the question.
I don't know. I can't find where it's any different.
I don't know. I can't sit here and tell you.
Okay.
I will look into that, but it is different. And in 2011, that was legislated. This is the judiciary, and this all stems back to Judge Aycock's order that she put in, and really it centers around the Central Judiciary District, and that's what we're looking at. How the Voting Rights Act and all that, I am not an expert to weigh in on that. I just do, in that sense, I do what the lawyers tell me.
Yeah, I get it. My concern is just that, you know, if we do this and then the Supreme Court comes back with a ruling in Louisiana that would potentially affect this case, I don't want us to be stuck. That's my concern, is us to be stuck drawing a new district because Aycock says we got to do it, and then the Supreme Court says we don't have to do it. So I don't want to follow her when the Supreme Court may come back and say that you don't have to do this.
I hear what you're saying. I would submit this, Senator Hill, that
is there contingency language in this bill?
That's what I was just going to say. I think your point makes the point that we could look at some trigger language or contingency language to put in there, which I think would be completely fine with that. And that is something that that the House and the Senate would talk about.
So this bill, does it have a reverse repealer in it?
I can tell you this, it's just the code sections.
Okay, because this is a House bill, and if we're going to put a reverse repealer in it, we probably would have to do it now to put contingency language in it, because they could concur if we don't and send it on, right?
Well, understand there's nothing to concur on, because this is just code sections. We're not doing a map or anything yet.
But
we haven't even gotten to that point.
If this doesn't go to conference, how is it going to help us?
It's going to go to conference.
Well, that's what I was asking.
It is going to go to conference.
Yeah, that's what I was asking. Does it already have a reverse repealer to go to conference?
It does not, but we had the Senate bill went over to the House. They've moved that. This is the House's bill, and so this is their bill that we're putting our bill in, and neither of those have laid out any new plan. So,
But they have to go to conference. One of them does.
correct. Exactly.
Okay, so whichever one goes to conference, we can put the contingency language in.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, thank you.
I'll note that down and we'll do that, yes.
Yeah, I think that'd be prudent because we don't want to be bound to something that we don't have to do.
Right. I agree.
Because I feel like it's coming based on some of their rulings of the last few days. I feel like it might come sooner than we think, but thank you, Mr. Chairman.
And if I can weigh in on that, it might, but
Yeah.
I've also heard that it won't too. I mean, we don't know.
Yeah, we
And
don't
that's
know is right. That's
and
why we need
why-
that language.
And if I may, Justice, because it's been in the news, Justice Ishii was told that he could not qualify.
I saw that.
And so in that instance, he's in a state of flux. And if the Supreme Court, if they're going to drag this out, I think it's only fair that we have something in place that somebody like Justice Ishii can go ahead and make their decision. But your point about contingency language is well taken. I think we should look at that. Yes.
Thank you.
Senator Hobson, what purpose?
Oh, thank you, Mr. President. My question was simply going to be, we
You
can put
yield-
in language in the
you
bill.
yield,
Oh,
Senator
I'm sorry.
Hobson?
Yes.
Okay, Senator Hobson.
Thank you, Mr. President, Mr. Chairman. We can put language in the bill that says in the event that the Calais case results in removing Section 2 or other charges that affect Judge Aycock's ruling, that the action that we take in this legislative session will be negated, declared null and void, and we go back to our old maps, correct?
Correct.
And we would also probably want to put in there, would we not, language that was specific to the ruling that was issued by Judge Aycock, so that if there was any discrepancy as to the Calais case and Judge Aycock's ruling, that it wouldn't be done unless it's clear that her ruling or any subsequent appeal of that ruling would be overturned by the Calais case, correct?
Correct. That's right.
And we've done that numerous times in legislative redistricting, have we not?
We have.
And we've done it in many other cases. I know we brought up one recently we had in the case that resulted in the Roe v. Wade overturning, we had contingency language that in the event that the courts did it, it would go back to where states have the rights, correct?
Right, that's right.
That was not our case. I mean, our legislation that we passed was based on something different than overturning Roe v. Wade, but it ultimately resulted in that because of our contingency language, correct?
That is correct.
And it would be your opinion, would it not, that we should put contingency language into this bill to protect, or not protect, but to modify the districts should there be a ruling from the U.S. Supreme Court on Calais that negates the whole reason to do this, correct? Is that right?
Right, but yes, but I'll add this, and it's not a but. It's prudent for us to move forward on this because, as we all know, the session will end, and if we don't have anything, and should such a case not come down or whatever, then we're in a position of being stuck.
Correct, and I agree with you, Senator. Can I just quickly say, if we don't do something, the courts probably redraw Supreme Court districts, correct?
And I should have said that.
So
that's
we
what I
have
was
to
alluding to.
Am I correct in understanding we've got to take action on this, or otherwise the courts will do it themselves?
Right, which is basically, as I understand Judge Aycock's ruling, that was basically what she was saying. Y'all do it or else I'm going to do it, and that's not what we want.
Thank you, Senator.
Thank you.
Senator Dupree, for what purpose?
Question, Mr. President.
Do you yield?
I do.
Senator Dupree.
Senator Wiggins, so apparently this is kind of preemptive. Am I correct?
That's right.
Okay.
Well, yes, it can be preemptive, but it's also being done because of it's reactive because of Judge Aycock's ruling.
Well, yeah, I say it's preemptive. It is, but also it's proactive too.
Correct.
At the same time. So we're doing something so that we do it the way we would like to have it done instead of the courts having it done. Correct.
That's what Senator Hobson made clear. Yes.
So wouldn't you think that to make sure that the courts would concur with whatever we do here, that we do it right, that takes care of representation, that takes care of fairness, takes care of all those things that the court's going to look at when they look at the maps and see if they're drawn right and see if we did what we were supposed to do right.
Well, to Senator Hill's point, I think there's a lot of people who question
what's right,
right, and what the court's going to do. There's some flux in this area, so I know I can say what we did in judicial redistricting, and others is we're going to listen to the attorneys who are experts in this area. We're going to base it on the population, the geography, in this case, the court cases. Also, we have to be mindful in this situation of Judge Aycock's ruling because we want to do that. And so there's a lot of factors that go into it. But I think to try to anticipate what the court's going to say, that should be at the lower level.
Yeah, I don't think you can anticipate what the courts. Do you agree with that? That you can't anticipate? At least I don't. Yeah. But I do think that we can do right by the citizens of Mississippi by being fair, honest, and make sure that one man, one vote is what we shoot for, and make sure everybody has an opportunity to vote for the people or whoever that they want to. If the law is written the correct way, based on fairness and not based on anything except what's fair.
Well, yes,
and I know
everything we do is based on fairness. But when you get into the nuances, and one of the nuances in this matter is that in the Central District, and I think I'm generally right on this, that 2/3 of the attorneys are in the Central District of Mississippi.
Probably.
And so if part of it is access and part of it is getting judges on the Supreme Court, then that has to be taken into consideration. And so, I guess it depends on what's the definition of fair, but those are factors that have to be taken into the fairness.
Yeah, I agree. But I think we all have some idea of what fairness looks like. And that's, I think we do.
Well, yeah. And
so,
not to belabor the point, but right now the districts are 3 districts across the state.
I understand.
And evenly. Judge Aycock has thrown that into flux. And, we can start from any way. We have 9 justices, so there's going to be a fair, I'll be honest, it's a lot easier and probably straightforward than it is for legislative or even judicial redistricting when we did for all our circuit and chancery judges.
Yeah. Well, it's easier to do it right the first time than to have the federal government involved in it.
Ooh, yeah.
Okay, we agree. God bless.
Thank you.
Senator McClendon, what purpose? No. Okay. Senator Sparks, what purpose?
A question, Mr. President.
Do you yield?
I do.
Senator Sparks, you're recognized.
Thank you. You described that there's 3 Supreme Court districts across the state of Northern, Central, and Southern. Is that correct?
Currently, yes.
Okay. And don't we also have Northern, Central, and Southern districts for PSC and for the Department of Transportation Commissioners?
We do.
Are they the exact same districts as the Supreme Court districts?
Yes.
Do they have the same footprint?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Okay, Senator, see no further questions.
Move passage on the morning roll call, Mr. President.
Senator suggests use morning roll call for final passage. Any senator object? Anyone wish to be recorded as voting no? Saying no. Chisholm, no. Hartness. Seeing no others, please record all others present by the use of morning roll call as voting aye, and the bill has passed. Okay, now we'll go back to item 137, Senator Wiggins.
Mr. President, I ask that we pass items 137 to 140 and they keep their place on the calendar, and we go to item 141, call that up, ask the title be read.
We'll pass and retain items 137, 38, 39, and 40. Go to item 141. Please read the title.
Senate nomination number 18, Chrissy Cable Noble, Bentoney, Mississippi, Director of the Mississippi Office of Capital Post-Conviction Counsel, 4-year term effective August 1st, 2025 and ending July 31st, 2029.
Mr. President, my motion will be that we do advise and consent and that I be allowed to explain.
You're recognized to explain.
Thank you. Ms. Noble came, she is a reappointment by the governor. The committee is familiar with her. She has done an excellent job in her position. We did not bring her before the committee. That was presented to the committee if they wanted that. She passed out unanimously. And I can tell you from my experience handling that budget and just watching what she does in that capacity, it is a service to the Mississippians who are in that position, and they defend, and she does a good job. So the motion is to advise and consent.
I see no questions. The motion is, or the senator has suggested, use the morning roll call for due advise and consent.
I do.
Does any senator object? Any senator wish to be recorded as voting no? Seeing none, please record all present by use of morning roll call as voting aye, and due advise and consent has passed. Thank you, Senator. Go to item 142, Senator Fillingham. Pass and retain items 142, item 143. Pass and retain that item. Now, hold on. Go back to Senator Johnson. You recognize.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to suspend the rules to take up item number 94 on today's calendar.
Senator asks that we suspend the rules, go back to item 94. Anyone object? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. The ayes have it.
Ask that the title be read.
Please read the title.
House Bill 1719, Prevention Strategies on Financial Fraud, create a study committee.
Make the usual motions.
Senator makes the usual motion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. The ayes have it. Senator Johnson.
This is a strike all. I'd like to be recognized to explain the strike all.
You're recognized to explain, Senator.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is exactly like the short title says. It is a study committee to help find prevention strategies for financial frauds. Obviously, these are big issues that many scammers from around the world have found ways to scam people here in Mississippi, along with all throughout the country. And it's difficult to get money back. It's difficult to proceed with any criminal or civil recourse because the money could be in Thailand or it could be in any number of countries around the world where we do not have a jurisdiction. And so the focus would be on ways that we can prevent these scams from happening in Mississippi to the best of our ability. The committee substitute added the Mississippi Bankers Association to the list of people on the study committee, and that's an explanation of what the strike all and the bill does.
Okay, see no questions, Senator.
Move adoption of the strike all.
The Senator moves adoption of the strike all. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. The ayes have it, Senator.
Move passage using the morning roll call.
The Senator suggests use morning roll call final passage. Any senator object? Any senator wish to be recorded as voting no? Seeing none, please record all present by the use of morning roll call as voting aye, and the bill is passed.
I move that we would suspend the rules to take up item number 95 on today's calendar.
Senator requests suspend the rules, go to item 95. Anyone object? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. The ayes have it, Senator.
Ask that the title be read.
Please read the title.
House Bill 1532, the Mississippi Business Filing Fraud Prevention Act, create.
And make the usual motions.
Senator makes the usual motion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. The ayes have it. Senator Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. President. This bill came at the request of the Secretary of State's office, and what it attempts to do is allow for people whose identity have been used fraudulently to set up a business entity with the state. Currently, if that business is operating a fraudulent business, they are guilty of fraud, but for setting up the business, there's no mechanism to dissolve the business if the person's identity was used falsely. And so this would just give the Secretary of State's office a mechanism to remove those entities that were set up using someone's identification that did not authorize it. And that's an explanation of what the bill does.
Okay, I see no questions, Senator. Motion.
Move adoption using the morning roll call.
The Let's see, there's not an amendment on this. Yeah, the senator suggests the use of the morning roll call for final passage. Any senator object? Thank you. Any senator wish to be recorded as voting no? Seeing none, please record all present by use of morning roll call as voting aye. The bill is passed. Now, anyone else wish to go back, suspend the rules to take an item up? Anyone? All right, seeing no one wishes to suspend the rules and go back, we'll move to announcement. Any senator have any announcements to make? Any announcements? Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, Senator Williams.
Announcement, Mr. President.
You recognize?
Tonight, from 5 to 7 at the South, the Mississippi Tourism Association, along with Mississippi Gaming and Hospitality Association, will have their legislative session with an Elvis impersonator. So y'all come, 5 to 7 at the South.
Thank you, Senator. Senator Hickman, announcement.
Motion, Mr. President. I would like to hold House Bill number 1265 on a motion to reconsider.
Okay, join the chairman. All right, anyone else? Senator Turner Ford, what purpose?
I have a motion to reconsider and then request for adjournments in memory.
Okay, you recognize.
I'm requesting that item 67 on today's calendar, House Bill 1716, be held on a motion to reconsider.
Okay, please join the chairman, please.
Thank you. And when the Senate adjourns today, I move that we adjourn in memory of Ms. Heather Reyes of West Point and Ms. Jeanette Self of Starkville. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. Senator Boyd, what purpose?
Adjourn in memory.
You recognize.
Thank you. When the Senate adjourns today, I ask that we adjourn in memory of Richard Sosebee of Batesville. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. Any other announcements? Seeing no other announcements, Senator Blackwell, you recognize.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the Senate stand in recess till 5 p.m. today, at which time the Journal will reflect we're adjourned until 10 a.m. tomorrow morning.
The motion is that we stand in recess till 5 p.m. today, at which time the Senate Journal will reflect we stand adjourned until 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. All in favor say aye. All opposed, no. Ayes have it. Senate stands adjourned, or stands in recess until 5, and then adjourned till 10 a.m. tomorrow morning.